Tonight's episode is brought to you by the Royal Ramble. When you want to hear the results of the Ramble, tune in to the two idiots who gave you the preview. Tonight on Ramblers Unleashed. Oh Lord, we're never going to hear the end of it from the Baron now that Liv has won the Rumble. How long is that lazy bastard Styles taking off? And Max May just gets to tell you all, I told you so. All this and more next on Ramblers Unleashed.
This video contains gratuitous use of profanity and uncomfortable pauses to compensate for lack of professionalism and original thought. Viewer discretion advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
All right, everyone, welcome to Ramblers Unleashed, your weekly episodic podcast for news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and sometimes more. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the road to Ramblemania. Tonight, we're going to discuss the Royal Rumble and what it means for the road ahead. But first, let's introduce the Ramblers. Up first, the man who is higher than a jet airliner and whose signature catchphrase is and always will be
420.
Round of applause for the Baron. How are you tonight,
Stop,
Baron?
stop, everyone. Just stop. Stop the applause right now. Dude, great, man. Another Thursday night. This seems odd. We went from Tuesday to Thursday. Yeah, it just seems weird. It's Thursday. Almost the end of the week already. Holy shit. Wild. But yeah, man, it's been a great full week of wrestling.
Yeah, some things I didn't get to watch, but I heard about. Unfortunately, we have so much other stuff to discuss. I won't be bringing that up tonight. I will say this, though. We have a new NXT champion, and it couldn't have happened if we didn't all believe in Joe Hendry. All right. Up next, the other member of the Ramblers crew. For without you guys, we'd just be a couple of idiots talking to each other on a video call. So give it up for yourselves over there in the chat.
And of course, you know me. I have no introduction to this person over here to wait. My left? Yes. No. Right? Anyways, no introduction is needed week to week with this legendary, infamous Max Mages. Give him a round of applause. Yes, give it to him. Give it to him.
I am your goat. I am your host. I am not your technical guy, even though in real life I am a tech guy.
Yeah, what happened there? How did you get out of that? How the hell are you a tech guy and not a tech guy here? You left the highest person in this entire fucking planet to hit the live button. I don't know how you did that.
I do tech all day for my job, and when it came down to learning this, I just couldn't focus. I'd had a long day of tech, and somehow you were hyper-focused and figured it out. So I was like, all right, we're good.
Folks, we just fucking wing it week to week at this point. If I hit the right button, if I make sure we're live on all platforms, I am good. The background, I got that, but don't ever leave the high guy to run tech stuff. It doesn't pan out very well.
All right, guys, before we get into Royal Rumble results and fallout for Royal Rumble and what that means for the road to WrestleMania, let's talk about a different story. We recently talked about her for having a car accident. Well, WWE referee Daphanie LaShaunn is back in the news, and guys, it's not good. Daphanie LaShaunn has launched a GoFundMe following a family tragedy. She lost multiple members in a house fire. She wrote the following on Instagram. My heart aches. Last night I lost my grandma, grandpa, uncle, and cousin in a house fire. We were at the scene till the very end. My soul is hollow right now. Please pray for my family as we navigate this unbelievable nightmare. Planning 4 funerals and rebuilding is going to be tough. My cousin, a family of 7 with 5 kids, are now displaced with nothing to their name. Anything helps, even a repost. I've posted the GoFundMe link in my bio, and I'll also add it to my story. Thank you so much. And I want you guys to know that if you go into the show notes down below on YouTube, not only did I have Baron put Ryzen's book, In Demand Indie, there, so that link is there if you haven't bought the book and want to, but also I did have him put the GoFundMe in there as well. If you can, please donate. If not, please share. Let's get the word out there, and let's help her. I mean, she was just dealing with her own car accident a few weeks ago, and now this happens. So our hearts go out to Daphne and her family. This has got to be a very trying time for you.
Yeah, man. I can't say much of that. Is absolutely awful. Like, that is absolute tragedy, no matter who or what person that is. That's to me one of the scariest things on earth. Yeah, that's awful. So definitely sending very big thoughts and vibes out there to the entire family.
All right, guys, real quick, that story did come from Fightful. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I like to tell you what website I'm getting the news story from, because I feel like I should give them credit for whatever story I read you. It's their work. They wrote it. We're going to talk about it, sure, but it's still their work, and I want to give them credit. Let's talk about some Royal Rumble results. Now, this is directly from the WWE website. This is complete Royal Rumble 2026 results. We will go through this one match at a time, discuss it, and we will talk about the picks at the same time. Starting off with the Women's Royal Rumble, because that's where the article starts, because that's what they started with on the show. Liv Morgan finally won the Women's Royal Rumble and is headed to WrestleMania. Morgan has been a runner-up in 2 previous Royal Rumbles, but finally sealed the deal by eliminating a returning Tiffany Stratton to win. The match began with tag team partners Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss entering at numbers 1 and 2, respectively. Flair and Bliss toyed with the idea of fighting each other, but decided to work together and wait for the rest of the field. Jordynne Grace came in number 8 like a house on fire. She eliminated Lola Vice, who was number 6, and Candice LeRae, who was number 7, at the same time before eliminating Ivy Nile, who was number 5, for the first 3 eliminations of the match. Real quick, before I go any further, if you were not watching the Rumble, you need to go back and check out Ivy Nile's outfit. If you are a video game player, specifically if you play the Fallout series, her gear was inspired by the Vault Dweller gear from the Fallout series. I thought it was amazing. My opinion, you don't have to agree with me, but if you don't, I'm just going to say you're wrong. So let's go with that. The Queen eliminated Nia Jax at number, who came in number 4, but also eliminated Alexa Bliss at the same time, seemingly by accident, following a big boot to Jax. And I'll be honest with you, when I watched that, it definitely looked like she did not mean to eliminate Alexa. She even tried to catch her and missed. So Becky Lynch arrived at number 9, quickly went toe-to-toe with arch nemesis Charlotte Flair as they brawled outside of the ring. Maxine Dupree came in at number 12, and Natty came in at number 30. They locked horns as soon as the Queen of Hearts entered, as Dupree looked for retribution after Natty betrayed Dupree. The Man quickly eliminated Dupree, but Natty eliminated Lynch moments later. Liv Morgan entered her 9th Rumble at number 14, as she and Natty became the only 2 superstars to compete in all 9 Women's Royal Rumble matches. Eventually, the ring filled with all 3 Judgment Day members, as Morgan, Roxanne Perez, who came in at 11, and Raquel Rodriguez at 17, teamed up to take down the rest of the competitors, eliminating Kiana James, who came in number 3, together. Representing Japan, Women's United States Champion Julia came in at number 19. WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Io Sky came in at 20. And Asuka, number 21, got into a standoff that resulted in a vicious scrap, but damn, did it look good. Rhea Ripley came in at number 22, made her arrival by eliminating Alba Fire, who tried to interfere before eliminating Green. then launched Perez out of the match with a Razor's Edge. Bayley came in at number 23, almost eliminated Sol Ruka, who came in at number 10, but Ruka saved herself in time with some athleticism. Kairi Sane, who entered at 28, accidentally eliminated her tag team partner, Asuka, before she got dumped out by Sky. Brie Bella came in at number 29. Yes, one of the surprises was the return of Brie Bella. And believe me, I'm going to bring up what was said on Raw because I have feelings about what was said, and I think you should know them. Made her return to WWE as the crowd erupted in massive yes chants. That's great. A Bella twin comes back, and the crowd chants for Daniel Bryan. Good job. And Brie quickly reunited with her sister Nikki, who came in at number 25. The number 30 entrant was Stratton, who also made an electric return to in-ring action and immediately nailed an epic swanton bomb as she entered the ring. After an edge of your seat fight near the ring apron, the Bella Twins eliminated Bayley and Lyra, who came in at number 26. NXT Women's Champion JC Jane came in at number 24, eliminated Kalani Jordan, who came in at 27, after Jordan tried to save herself, but Ruka hit a soul snatcher on Jane before chucking the NXT Women's Champion out of the ring. And I got to say, I was very impressed by Soul's performance in the Rumble.
I don't know how the fuck you can never be impressed by her in any in-ring. She's fucking great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was great in the Rumble, but any type of match she's ever had, phenomenal.
Yeah. Soul is phenomenal. This may not go over well, but I look forward to her facing off with Liv Morgan in the very near future.
Yeah, that's not going to go over well. So leave that one alone. But, you know, I've seen this on social media, and I think they even kind of hinted toward this on the show if they didn't say it word for word, but a little bit like Lita, right? Much more, you know, so much more agile in the ring, in my opinion. But it does kind of remind me of Lita a little bit. So I do see where that's coming from.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. I can see traces of that. Let's see. All right. Lash Legend came in number 15, had a dominant performance as she eliminated a match high 5 superstars. Jordan Grace, both Bella twins, Charlotte Flair, who lasted just under an hour to become the Iron Woman, and Io Sky. Legend's legendary run came to an end after being eliminated by Ripley. Rodriguez eliminated Ripley with a Tahana bomb onto the apron. Then, shockingly, Morgan snuck up on her Judgment Day partner Rodriguez and tossed her out of the ring. The last 3 were Morgan, Stratton, and Sol Ruka. And I'm going to be honest with you, at this point, we were watching it here, and I said, you know what? Liv Morgan has been in the title picture. Tiffany Stratton has been in the title picture. I don't expect this to happen. I expect either Liv or Stratton to eliminate Sol, but I would not be surprised if Sol won the Royal Rumble since she made it to the final 3. Obviously, that's not what happened. Ruka hit a double soul snatcher on Morgan and Stratton before all 3 battled on the apron. Ruka attempted the soul snatcher on Stratton, but the center of the universe evaded and sent her to the floor. Seconds later, Morgan eliminated Stratton with an oblivion to win her first Women's Royal Rumble match. And Baron, tell us how happy you are.
Yeah, if you know. If you know, you know. Dude, yeah. You know, I'm sure you'll talk about our picks. This was, to me, the most obvious pick in this. So I'm not going to go on a crazy rant because I'm happy for her. I don't think at this point we can really deny how good she actually is, right?
I have never denied that, I promise.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do. She's got that aura. She is that, you know, got that attitude in the ring. And if you ask me, not sure what happened there, but we're back. So I'm super excited. I will say, if we're going to go ahead and talk about this match or the Rumble, I think I said this on the show multiple times that I felt like we were going to be let down with returns, debuts, right? So I felt like it was just a little bit of a letdown. I mean, like, it was great that she won, don't get me wrong, but the match just we didn't have any big surprises. Brie was a big surprise, but like, how far does that go, right?
Yeah.
I was expecting Bianca to show up here. I thought this was gonna be, picked Liv for obvious reasons, but I thought Bianca was gonna return here too, and possibly win.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I was on board with that. I really thought Bianca would return. I thought AJ Lee, was a safe pick. Let's see.
I don't know what's going on there.
I'm not really
signed a contract, right?
AJ Lee? She said she signed a long-term contract. So
and had 3 appearances, or she had
that's about it. Yeah,
3 or 4,
including Survivor Series.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening there.
Let's see. Lash and Zelina, I wouldn't really call them surprises, even though I don't remember them being announced as being in the match. Raquel, we knew was going to be there. Chelsea Green, we knew. Sol Ruka was kind of a surprise. So was Lola Vice. Kiana James, I don't remember if she was announced for the Rumble, but Becky's no surprise. Natty lives. Let's scroll back down here. JC Jane, we kind of heard rumors about it, talked about it last week that she was probably going to show up. Kalani Jordan was a little bit of a surprise. I don't think we discussed her. Brie Bella was definitely a surprise. And Tiffany Stratton wasn't much of a surprise, but she's been out for so long that we weren't sure when she was coming back. So I'll chalk that up as a surprise. But overall, I feel like the Women's Rumble really lacked that surprise impact this year.
I was looking for something big, right? And I think we all were expecting a big return here. And we just didn't get that.
I mean, Bianca making a return, AJ entering the Rumble. Who else did we have down? Oh, Styles picked Trish Stratus for a surprise entrant. Anything like that would have been huge. Yeah. And I'm not complaining about what we got. As Sean pointed out, Sol was the MVP. Everybody that came out that from NXT put on a great showing, especially Sol. And overall, I think we had a good Women's Rumble match. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I do kind of want to talk about the promo from Raw, though. The Bella Twins came out. They got in the ring, and they started talking. And Brie made the comment that, you know what? I don't remember exactly what her words were, but let me tell you what I heard. Nikki couldn't cut it on her own in the singles division, so I've come back so we can go after the tag team division. That's what I heard in that promo. Baron?
It's exactly what you heard. It's going to create some stir in the WWE universe with her coming back, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I've always thought Brie was always better in the ring. My personal opinion, obviously. I can never stand the Brie mode thing. That drove me insane. But it's always good to see the Bellas back. I mean, that is their home, right? And it's good to know that, just to see him back, honestly. And it's going to create a lot of conversations about Daniel Bryan because he is, got a good chance of returning, coming back.
I mean, that really depends on how long his contract remains with AEW.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, he was recently defending AEW against some things that were said in a way that implied that he was still employed. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is something I brought up the other day, and I said, now that Zelina, I said now that Matt Cardona has made his return to WWE, you could do the mixed tag challenge, all married couples edition, and you have enough teams to pull that off. You got Punk and AJ. You got Seth and Becky. You got Bianca and Montez. Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green. Zelina, Aleister Black. Who else do we have?
There's a lot out there that I probably can't think of, but yeah, why wouldn't we?
Yeah, I get on it, WWE. I said it here. You should do it. I think it's a great idea. And so far, I didn't list off anybody who has any talent issues. So they would put on hell of a match if you went with that. But that's just me. All right. Any further thoughts on the Women's Royal Rumble before I move on to possibly the saddest match of the night?
Yeah, well, no, I don't have much further on that, but I will say, you know, I'm gonna say this quite a few times actually. I thought the crowd fucking sucked.
Okay. I didn't really want to discuss the crowd, but let's discuss the crowd real quick.
We have to. As a wrestling fan, we've both been watching this 20 plus years of our life, right? What really brings out the emotion as a fan watching from home? Obviously, the in-ring work, right? Like, it's great when they're telling the story, but the crowd is the one that really enhances everything, at least for me, right? The pops, the countdowns, that really gets things going for me. And I just thought this crowd fucking sucked throughout the entire night.
So there has long been a rumor, probably for as long as we've been doing shows. Well, they've been doing shows for Saudi. That the crowd is okay. So when I was doing shows, every once in a while we'd have a paid show, which didn't mean, hey, we're getting paid for this. What it meant was we had a show like the El Paso County Fair one year called us up and said, hey, we want to pay you X amount of money to come down and do a show at the El Paso County Fair. Now, normally in the Indies, you are paying the venue fee, you're paying for insurance, you're paying your boys, you're paying stuff like that. You got to pay for the expenses, right? No, this show is a little different. This show, they gave us X amount of money to use for transporting the ring. They covered the insurance. The rest was to be split up amongst the guys as payment for the work they did, and some could go into the Fed to cover other stuff. That's a paid show. That means somebody reached out and just gave you a bunch of money and said, here, do a show. So the theory is that in Saudi, the shows are paid for by the prince, because I'm not even going to look up what he's worth. Just if you want to know, look, Google it, and
I'm Googling
trust
that
me
shit now.
Trust me, your jaw will drop. But the theory is that he's not only paying for the shows, but as a condition of paying for the shows, they are letting him make decisions about the shows. And in addition to that, he's basically bringing in whoever he wants, and they're not actually selling very many seats to the general public, despite what they're saying. That's the theory. I can't prove any of this. We know they at least sold one seat, because if you were watching, you know that green shirt guy was at the Royal Rumble, but not in his usual seat. He was on the opposite side of the ring, on the hard camera side.
That was weird as fuck, right?
That was very weird. Yeah.
I seen him like one or two times, maybe, like the camera kind of panned from behind, and I'm like, what the fuck? It's the green shirt guy.
Yeah, and it was really weird. Listen, we've talked before that must be nice to be able to go to all these shows. And when I say all these shows, I mean all of these shows. I honestly could not tell you the last time I noticed green shirt guy missing from any WWE event, whether it be WWE, not NXT, whether it be a PLE, a Raw, a SmackDown. He is pretty much always there. And so to see him on the opposite side, that was a little weird. But dude, where are you getting the money? I'm sorry, with TKO bumping up their prices, I know the Royal Rumble PLE is costly.
I can't.
Flight tickets?
I can't tell you what. I can't repeat because I just don't remember word for word what it is. But Nick Khan touched base on the Logan Paul podcast not too long ago about the green shirt guy. And he's part of something that allows him to get cheaper tickets. I don't remember the name of it, but go look it up on Google or the podcast itself about him talking about it. But he says he pays for all the tickets. He's got no ties to the WWE or anything along those lines. So whatever it is, good for him.
All right. Then I have this follow-up question. What the hell is your income? Oh, yeah. Styles kind of asked that already. So
he's making some fucking money. You have to if you're sitting in front row. We've all seen ticket prices for these events. We're talking $2,000, right? Like,
well, not just that though. I mean, he's in every city that they're in too, which means how is he working? Does he work on the road? Because I mean, that's cool, but you know, it still. Oh, let's see this. Speaking of prices, I decided to check Mania tickets. 3 rows from the top was $330, and second row was over $16K for just the one night. You know, TKO says that they are keeping up with the prices from everywhere else, and I'm sorry, but looking at ticket prices for you guys, for AEW, for TNA, for all these other, I know that these guys aren't at the same level, but you're not, you guys set the bar. You know that, right? WWE sets the bar, and nobody's going to pay that much for AEW. I'm sorry, and that's not me denigrating the AEW. Nobody's going to pay $330 to sit 2 rows down from the top in AEW. Not until not until Khan fixes his storylines, because he's not doing a very good job with those. And TNA's not rebounded enough for someone to pay that much to sit 2 rows from the top. Although they're smaller venues, they're still not going to pay that much to sit 2 rows from the top. I'm sorry. How WWE is getting away with this, I have no freaking idea. I love the product, don't get me wrong, but something's not right here.
I couldn't even pinpoint what's going on. Everything's expensive. Tickets to every goddamn thing. I just seen an article the other day, and it blew my fucking mind. For tickets and staying, it's cheaper to go to Japan than it is to go to Disneyland World, whatever's in Florida. I forget which one it is.
Disney World's Florida, Disneyland's California.
Yeah, Disney World, so whatever's in Florida. And I thought that was the most mind-boggling fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. It's not too far-fetched. I've looked at tickets to, Europe, and it's just, I mean, it is expensive, right? But it's not as crazy as, let's say, me flying to California. Like, I mean,
or Denver.
Exactly. Like, they're super fucking expensive here, and that's just the lay of the land that we live in.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to what may have been one of the saddest matches of the night, guys. This is important, and it's going to come up in Desk of Max Mages tonight. I have 2 stories about AJ Styles, and then I'm going to talk about AJ Styles. Gunther defeats AJ Styles to end Styles' career. Now, I think that's a misnomer. It's his WWE career that's over. They can't really keep him from going elsewhere. It's not like he was saying, yeah, I'll retire. The Phenomenal One's career is over. AJ Styles put his incredible career on the line against the Ring General following Gunther's recent controversial win over Styles on Raw. Gunther brutalized Styles by sending the Phenomenal One crashing into the barricade at ringside. Styles attempted to lock in the calf crusher, but Gunther made it to the ropes before Styles could apply the hold to maximum impact. The Ring General obliterated Styles with a spine-tingling powerbomb, but Styles responded with another calf crusher. Gunther escaped the dangerous hold with a sleeper, and Styles and Gunther went back and forth with sleeper attempts. Styles launched himself over the top rope to nail a phenomenal forearm to the outside, and soon followed with a powerbomb back in the ring. Styles hit a springboard 450 splash and followed with a Styles clash for a 2 count. Gunther hit a mule kick below the belt behind the referee's back before landing a powerbomb, though Styles narrowly kicked out. Styles attempted another phenomenal forearm, but was countered by Gunther, who locked in the sleeper hold. Styles kept fighting back with desperation elbows, but Gunther trapped the phenomenal one, whose career ended when he passed out in the hold. After the match, the WWE Universe gave Styles a standing ovation. Styles looked ready to leave his gloves in the ring as the crowd chanted no, but he instead opted to leave his gloves on his hands and salute the crowd. I'm going to say this now. I'll repeat it when we get to From the Desk of Max Magus. We expected it, but that doesn't mean we were prepared for it. And this, I mean, I didn't really care about Goldberg. Good riddance. But first Cena, now Styles, I can appreciate what they're doing for Gunther's career. Don't get me wrong. But it seems a little early to be losing these guys from the WWE. I mean, I've seen people go much longer, but they're going out on their terms. I have to grant them that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think I said this a little bit last week. It sucks that we're going to be seeing a lot of guys from, and that's what makes it different, right? Obviously watching wrestling for a very long time, we've seen a lot of people come and go, a lot of people retire. So we have definitely seen a lot, but we're getting to that era of wrestling now from the guys from the 2000s that are just going to be leaving left and right from the early to 2000s. So there's going to be a lot of people exiting in the next few years here. And that it sucks because that's where, where does the landscape of wrestling go from there? I do have to mention, though, I do like what they're doing with Gunther. I think he's the right guy to beat the fuck out of them in their career situation. It does suck seeing them leave. It really sucks knowing that John Cena and then AJ Styles, like that's like a double whammy, right?
Of each other.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that is way too fast. Styles for sure. He's been there since WCW and has traveled the world, just won every title you can possibly think of, wrestled thousands of people. It does suck. It sucks to see these people leave. What I don't like with this here is I think we're all well aware his career is not over. If he was done, he would put them gloves down, right? So I'm really not a huge fan of wrestlers. I want them to do whatever they want to do. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not a huge fan of this retirement from WWE and then go show up somewhere else. I actually think it's really stupid on their part. Just doesn't make any sense. You could go have 5-star match in Japan or AEW or TNA if that's what you want to do. That's great. I love that for you. But as a legacy, you're not getting any higher than leaving WWE, right?
I mean, to be fair, nobody used the word retire in this whole thing. They kept saying
leaving career over in WWE. And I think they'll stay true to that. I think his career is done with WWE. And I don't like that any more than retirement from WWE or whatever the case may be. Whatever verbiage you want to use. I just don't. I love AJ Styles, right? His body of work in WWE was great. He helped elevate a lot of people. Had some great matches. Absolutely loved it. So if I flip to the channel, I see him on TNA. That's great. That's where he started, but it just kind of diminishes what he did in WWE, for me at least.
Well, and here's the way I look at this, because I don't think he sees it as going someplace that's going to be a higher pinnacle than WWE. I think he looks at it as he has unfinished business that he wants to complete by the end of 2026 so he can retire and spend time with his kids. I did not know until when I was getting set up for tonight that AJ Styles is actually right about my age. I mean, like literally within a month or two, a month, I believe. He 1977 by a month and a half. And I knew Cena was right around that time frame. Cena's is April 23rd, 1977. So he's like 3 months older than me. So that's another thing to think about. I'm sitting here watching two guys I admire and respect in that ring leave the business, or in Styles' case, leave WWE and then the business down the road here a little bit. And I'm looking at myself going, I wish I was in a position to retire this year like they're doing. So, I'll get more into
That's the one thing, real quick, that I just don't understand about wrestlers. Right? Retirement, I'm leaving, whatever the case may be, and then go and do it again. It's just one thing that they can't let go of. It's sacred. I know most of these guys have made enough money to continue life fine, right? To me, it just sucks because like these guys are putting their body online all the time, right? So I'm just not a huge fan of that. Ric Flair one really stung with me. That legendary match with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
That was I don't think you could leave wrestling in better terms. And then to see him go to like 3 different fucking promotions throughout the years after that, it just didn't make any sense to me. And I feel like it's going to be the same way with AJ Styles with me.
See, and to me, Ric Flair is different because he actually called it retirement. Yeah. It was actually a retirement match when he lost to Shawn. AJ has only ever referred to it as the end of his time with WWE. Yeah, Gunther's referred to it as the end of his career. WWE's referred to it as the end of his career. But AJ only ever called it the end of his time with WWE. And so I view it as different. And I mean, with Ric Flair, everyone really thought he was retired. I don't think that's AJ's plan. I think it's his plan later this year. But I think that he's got some unfinished business. I think he wants to go finish up some loose ends in Japan. And then I think he really wants to go face Frankie Kazarian to end out his career. Whether it's a feud or one match, I don't know. Either way, it's not the first time these guys have tangled in the ring. And I honestly look forward to their whatever they do because they both put on a hell of a match working together. When I pulled this up earlier, I saw Frankie's name listed in something in his story from back then.
Yeah, Sean, I agree. That one really hit pretty heavily, right?
Yeah.
John Cena is one of those people, like, as we're getting older in life, you know, like, we tend to forget the younger things in our life. And I think we all can remember John Cena start to end, right? So it's really weird to watch. I would say he's going to be back in some capacity, obviously not in ring. I feel like he almost has to come back and do some backstage stuff, right? Almost has to. So yeah, John Cena sucked. I was not a fan of that one, and I wasn't a fan how he went out. Really, technically speaking, I liked how Gunther did it, but like the show, I wasn't a fan of that at all.
I just pulled it up. June 9th, 2004, AJ defeated Frankie Kazarian to become a 3-time X Division champion. So, yeah, those two have history.
Yeah, I think that's a good case for him. Cool. I'm happy for him if that's how he wants to kind of, ride out to the sunset, per se. But I don't give a fuck. I'm not tuning in TNA to watch that match.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's move on. Undisputed WWE champion Drew McIntyre defeats Sami Zayn, seeking to become a world champion for the first time and remain undefeated in Saudi Arabia. Sami Zayn challenged Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE title. The Scottish Warrior bombarded Zayn in the early proceedings before Zayn hit a sunset flip powerbomb, but McIntyre ruthlessly targeted Zayn's back in an attack that left several marks. Even when Zayn dropped the champion with the Blue Thunder Bomb, it took a tremendous toll on his back. McIntyre hit 3 Future Shock DDTs for a long 2 count. Zayn almost landed the Haluva kick, but McIntyre evaded and executed a Claymore kick. Zayn, however, got his foot on the bottom rope to prevent McIntyre from winning. As the Scottish Warrior argued with the referee, Zayn blasted him with a Haluva kick that resulted in a long 2 count after Zayn was slow to cover McIntyre. Outside the ring, McIntyre powerbombed Zayn through the announce table, which left the challenger reeling in pain. Back in the ring, Zayn hit an exploder suplex and set up for another Haluva kick. McIntyre, however, clobbered Zayn with a Claymore kick out of nowhere before hitting a second one to emphatically win the match and retain the title. I'll be honest with you, I had actually thought that because they were in Saudi, Sammy is so over in Saudi, Sammy hasn't lost a match in Saudi. I figured this was a no-brainer. Sammy was taking this title. They'll put it back on Drew later. But that's not what happened. Drew is still your champion.
I don't remember. Who did I pick in this match? I'm pretty sure I picked Drew.
You picked Drew.
Yeah.
I was the only one to pick Sammy.
I picked Drew just because of I think he could, I think he's going to win type of ordeal, but I was not going to be surprised if, Sammy won this match. I thought for sure there could have been some blood money, as we call it, that could have been funneled that way for it. And even here, I didn't think it was a great pop for Sammy. I'm gonna say it again. They need to quit fucking having shows over there. I don't give a fuck. They sucks. 1 o'clock p.m. my time, the only time zone that matters. A PLE on a Saturday. Kiss my ass. I have some shit to do. Did I sit down and watch it? I fucking did, but I wasn't happy.
Well, I'll be honest. I read something the other day. Apparently, this deal was put in place 10 years old. The contract is ironclad. It wasn't necessarily for Rumble to be there this year or Mania to be there next year, but the deal was put in place that they would take shows to Saudi. And as far as I can tell, TKO has not found a way around that contract. And I don't really know if they want to because they make some money off of this. So
yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about at the end of the day for corporations like that. So it sucks. And yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same.
Yeah. Are we just going to ignore what just happened?
Agree with Baron? Our time zone is the only one that matters? No, we're not going to ignore that. It's highlighted on the screen.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Your exit of a millisecond? Yeah? You want to talk
was
about
that on my end, or was that like the whole show went down for a second?
That was, I'm hoping, yeah, looking at my screen here. We're still live. I think that's your end.
Because on my side it said waiting for host to reconnect after we dropped out. That's why I asked.
Oh shit. No,
I didn't think you would accidentally bumped anything. I thought maybe just some kind of glitch hit and took us both out for a second.
It's probably fucking Styles in the chat hacking my computer or doing something goofy like that. You know how he operates.
Styles, stop trying to hack Baron's computer. You need your wrist to heal.
Yes, we need you. We need you back, Styles.
All right.
I'm back soon.
Before I go into the Men's Royal Rumble, I got something I got to say first. I hate to say I told you so, but I did tell you all that there would be no Jericho in the Rumble, just like there's no sex in the champagne room. There was no Jericho in the Rumble. It brings me no joy to say this. I told you so. I may not have gotten all the points in the Rumble this year, but I can say I told you so about this.
I wish he would have showed up. I'm not going to lie.
I'm not going to lie. I would have liked for him to be there.
I would have liked for that cheap pop, but actually, it's a smart move that he didn't show up because he wouldn't have got that good pop, right, at this show. So save it for when we're back or whatever the case may be. So, but I think we as fans are overblowing this. He's still on the AEW roster.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm not sure how this all started with him coming to WWE in Rumble, but it got into my head, and I'm still holding on to it because I want that fucking pop. I want to see it. I enjoy Jericho, always have, but yeah, whoever started that rumor can kiss my ass because I thought for sure we had a good chance, especially with him coming over to Europe, maybe a quick swing by. But yeah, it didn't happen. Max told us so.
Look, I wanted him to be there. I really did, and it brought me no joy to burst your bubbles last week. But guys, I had to be real. I did. I'm sorry. So, all right, guys, let's talk about the main event so that we can get through all this talk over here.
Let's go ahead and spotlight Styles for a second. Let's read this message. The entire show seemed disappointing, and I missed a shitload of it.
And then what did he say next?
I wasn't home for the first 3 matches. Styles, there was only 4 fucking matches, so you missed the whole fucking show.
Pretty much.
Fucking Styles. We love him. Love you, Styles.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into this. I think we all know that Roman Reigns won the 2026 Royal Rumble match and that he is headed to WrestleMania. The Tribal Chief eliminated Gunther last to win his second Royal Rumble match and first since 2015. And I would like to point out that there was a discussion in my house Saturday afternoon. Well, we didn't watch it till late in the day. So it's Saturday evening. There was a discussion, but Gunther just faced off with AJ. He's not going to be in the Rumble. Yeah, he's still on the official list of entrants for the Royal Rumble. They never pulled him from that after they announced his match with AJ. Are you sure? I'm looking at the list right now. So sure enough, his music hits and my household was like, I guess you were right. He was still in the Rumble. Anyway, Obafemi made his Royal Rumble debut, entering at the number 1 position. The Vision's Braun Breaker entered at number 2, but a masked superstar super kicked him and stomped him before tossing him in the ring to get eliminated by Femi. Now, before I go any further, if you did not watch the pre-show, please do yourself a favor and go back and watch the pre-show. Adam Pearce and CM Punk are on the table at the pre-show, and Paul Heyman comes out. And Paul Heyman gets right in Adam Pearce's face, and he says, really? Number 2? The worst position in the show? And Pearce is like, you make it sound like it's my fault he's number 2. And it was a fun exchange. Now, fast forward to Raw, the following night, Monday night, and they come out, and he's like, I already explained why 2 is the worst position to come out at the Royal Rumble. If you didn't hear me say it before, Google it, bitches. I'm not here to educate you. Listen, I absolutely love Heyman, and that was just phenomenal. All right. Breaker got attacked by a guy in a hoodie, thrown into the ring, and Obafemi threw him right back out. Femi also eliminated Rusev, who came in number 5, and Solo Sikoa, who came in number 3, to score his second and third eliminations. Ray came in number 4, hit 2 619s on Femi, but an unfazed Femi tossed Mysterio out of the ring for his 4th elimination before also eliminating Matt Cardona, who came in number 6 for his 5th. Javon Evans, number 8, got bouncy, taking out Damian Priest, who came in number 7, and Femi with his high-flying skills. El Grande Americano came in at number 12, and Original El Grande Americano came in number 13, confusing the WWE Universe as they squared off and tried to unmask each other. The Original Americano eliminated the other Americano, but Trick Williams, who came in number 10, eliminated the original. Cody Rhodes came in number 11, 2-time Rumble winner, eliminated Williams right after that. Royce Keys came in number 14. Former powerhouse Hobbs made his WWE debut by going toe-to-toe with Priest and eliminating the Archer of Infamy And if you did not see his entrance to the Rumble, I also recommend you check that out because they popped Powerhouse Hobbs up on the screen. Then that exploded and it said Royce Keys. And before anybody makes fun of the name that he's coming out at, he picked it himself. It's his, if I remember correctly, it's his son's name and his grandmother's maiden name.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So before you go making fun of the name that he came out at, he picked that himself. That was not WWE's choice. And he did it to honor two members of his family. So if you think it's still worth making fun of, then I feel bad that you think it's funny to make fun of his family members that he's honoring. That's my opinion. Eventually, the other three members of the Vision, Logan Paul came out number 20, Bronson Reed number 16, and Austin Theory, who came in number 15, combined forces to eliminate Keys. La Parka, who came in at number 18, one of the surprise entrants, but not, yeah. And Dragon Lee, who came in number 19. LA Knight came in number 21, made his return by eliminating Austin Theory and Bronson Reed to leave Paul as the only Vision member remaining. Brock Lesnar came in at number 22, two-time Rumble winner, made his way to the ring with Paul Heyman and destroyed everyone in the ring before facing off with Femi in a show-stopping collision. Now, something I want to say about this is when Brock came into the ring, there is a video that somebody posted on Facebook that I watched the other day, and I don't remember if I shared it with the guys, but it's a shot of, it's video of when Logan Paul backs up and Brock's there, and it does that whole screeching stop, and it said, "That's me. I bet you're wondering how I got here." And then it shows their interaction in the ring. It was actually kind of funny. I really enjoyed it. If you get the chance to see it, check it out. Femi tried to eliminate the Maverick, but he made the mistake of turning his back on Lesnar, who quickly eliminated Femi to conclude Femi's impressive outing. 5 eliminations, guys. That's what Femi ended with. As last year's Rumble winner, Jey Uso, who came in at number 25, made his way to the ring. Rhodes and Knight united to eliminate Lesnar. Roman Reigns, number 26, entered the ring looking to run it back with Uso, but Reigns clocked Jey, Superman punched Evans and Paul, and eliminated The Miz, who came in at number 23. Reigns and Rhodes faced off before Jacob Fatu, who came in number 27, arrived to hammer Evans with a huge pop-up powerbomb. Randy Orton came in at number 29, another two-time Rumble winner, RKO'd Logan Paul and Penta, who came in at number 28 in epic fashion. Gunther, who came in at number 30 just hours after ending Styles' career, limped his way to the ring while feeling the effects of his brutal battle with Styles. I don't like the way they worded that on WWE.com. Just hours after ending Styles' career. I mean, yeah, 2 hours does fall into that category, but it hasn't even quite been 2 hours since that match. So I feel like you exaggerated for absolutely no reason here, because if people watch the show, they know it wasn't really that long. Orton eliminated Evans by Bouncy, who became the Iron Man after lasting more than 40 minutes. Rhodes and Orton attempted to team up on Gunther, but the ring general moved out of the way as Rhodes inadvertently hit Orton with a Cody cutter. Rhodes grabbed the top rope to avoid elimination, but undisputed WWE champion Drew McIntyre executed a Claymore on Rhodes to eliminate the American Nightmare. Reigns then eliminated Fatu and Jey moments after Jey tried to eliminate the Tribal Chief, leaving Logan Paul, Roman Reigns, Orton, and Gunther as the final 4. Reigns eliminated Logan Paul, and Gunther eliminated Orton, leaving the Ring General and the original Tribal Chief as the final 2. And when it came down to this, my first statement was, Gunther's getting this win. He's going on to WrestleMania. Because that's kind of what I thought they were going to do.
I thought the same. I kind of thought the same thing at the end there. I'm like, fuck, man. But I agree. That was a massive letdown. Sean kind of pointed it out, Gunther being number 30. Yeah. And we knew as soon as, obviously 29 happened, who was coming next. So I think the disappointment went very, myself and the crowd included, was just like, well, shit.
Yeah, you were feeling the energy of the crowd at that point, Baron.
Yeah.
After an edge-of-your-seat brawl, Roman Reigns speared Gunther and ejected the Ring General from the ring to win his second Royal Rumble. And I'm going to be honest with you. When we were doing predictions last week, we were talking about it and before the show, and I wasn't really feeling anybody. Reigns was the closest thing to there's a really good chance that it could be him, but I think that's the obvious choice, and I don't know if I want to do that. Well, I could have gone with Reigns and been right and gotten the point.
Well, I'm pretty sure I did the same exact thing. I said Reigns on the pre-show, right?
Yeah, you did.
Or before we started, and I just had like a little hunch because I knew Liv was winning, and I thought maybe there could be some smart booking here, and had Dom win. I thought that would have been like great shit. Dom deserves it. I don't care what anybody says. Dom has done phenomenal in the last couple of years here in wrestling. So I thought that could have been a really big possibility. And then he shows up the next week or, the next night. And it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, I have learned never, ever, and I mean ever, bet against the big dog, Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
I've been wrong every single time I have.
Yeah, I just thought it was. I was just say, I just thought it was the way too obvious answer.
Yes, but who else could have really truly won and made sense?
Gunther.
Oh yeah, I mean Gunther, yeah, for sure. But I think he's just on that. He's on that early legend killer Randy Orton trend right now, and I don't think he's going to stop. I think there's somebody else, right? Roman makes sense. Sorry, I think we're getting into this lull period of wrestling. I think love Cody Rhodes. This is going to be a hot take here. But I think his character was just too bland. I don't think it, like they need something. I don't think there's anybody better than Roman that could carry the company to higher levels, right? Is there on that roster? No, there's not. I mean, he's as close as the John Cena we're gonna get when it comes to popularity, right? So it made sense that he won, especially after losing a couple years back at Mania to Rhodes. I still believe Rhodes is going to be somewhere in that mix at the main title with Punk. I could be wrong on it all, but Punk and Reigns really makes sense long-term booking-wise, and it's smart. Going back to the Shield, and I think there's a little pitch from CM Punk from this. I agree. I thought LA Knight, I think that would have been a fantastic pick, but they have something against LA Knight, and I'm not too sure what the fuck that is. Because there's nothing. I mean, he's a fucking star. I'm not sure why you wouldn't push him to the limit, but this is WWE, so whatever. Yeah, I think going back real quick, I think CM Punk had a little bit of say in this because of CM Punk's rampage towards the Shield members, bringing them up. We've seen it with Dean Ambrose, seeing it obviously with Seth Rollins, and now we're going to see it with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, and listen, somebody messaged me before the show, and actually he put it in the Discord, and he basically said that he wasn't happy that he thinks they need to stop pushing Roman. I'll be honest with you. I think Roman's talented. I do. I think that LA Knight would have been a good choice. I think they need to pull the trigger on LA Knight or, let him go. Because at this point, if you're not going to do anything with him, why bother having him on the card? Don't get me wrong. He's a lot of fun, especially right now while he's feuding with Division, but the guy's earned his spot. Pull the trigger on him. And we're going to get into that in a minute, Sean. If you're not going to work with the guy, let's let him get out of there and pursue other avenues. Javon Evans is up and coming. I think he'd be fun, but I don't think they're ready to pull the trigger on him just yet. Same with Obafemi. Royce Keys is way too new. Yeah, he went straight to the main roster, but it's not his time just yet. Solo, maybe, but I don't think they're as sold on him as they want us to believe they are. Jacob Fatu is technically already in the title picture, so I wouldn't worry about that. Braun Breaker is going to end up in the title picture very soon. I would trust me on that. He's going to be there very soon. Cardona and Damian Priest. Priest has been there before. I just didn't see them pulling the trigger on him. Iguana and La Parca are not even technically WWE, though officially their contracts are from WWE and TKO now. So there was no chance they were winning. Although, I won't lie, I actually had some fun watching them work. I was one of the few, but I enjoyed it. Trick just isn't there yet. The Americanos have something bigger and going on right now, so that's going to be a little while out. The one thing that disappointed me during the men's rumble that, like, I shouldn't have. Okay, I do agree with that. Oba should have eliminated Brock instead of the other way around. The thing that really disappointed me, though, was you had Ilya come in and he just was on fire and he just tore up everybody. And Brock just flat out no sold what Ilya did. And I'm not saying that he should have, like fully sold. I mean, the way everybody else went down off those hits from Ilya, I'm not saying Brock should have done that. But what I'm saying was that I think Brock should have sold, at least some of it.
Well, what was the fucking point of Brock being there? Other than making money.
Just to dominate everybody and make money.
Well, he didn't really dominate anybody.
I mean,
he didn't do anything in that Rumble.
He's the one that eliminated Obafemi.
He did. I mean, like, that was the only option, obviously, to eliminate him, which I think was really stupid on the part. Like Sean said, Oba should have eliminated Brock, right? Like, that was a no-brainer, put somebody over situation. The whole Brock thing really fucking rubbed me the wrong way because, like, there's no story for Brock going forward, right? Like, Rumble usually indicates some new storylines, right? And Brock being who he is, it just didn't make sense other than he's there for the money, right? And clearly that's what the fuck that was for. Fuck Brock. I'd say this on the show and I'm going to continue to say it. Fuck that guy. Don't care. Yeah, he'll beat the fuck out of me, but whatever. Don't care what he's doing. It doesn't make any sense. It's there for the money. He should have put over Oba for sure.
Yeah, and don't worry. We only have a few months left with him. He's retiring around SummerSlam time. And then we don't have to watch him get into these Rumble matches anymore.
Good. Hopefully Gunther chokes him out.
So, all right. Let's go ahead and move on from the Rumble and let's talk about the fallout from the Rumble. The next thing I actually have on the list, and when I put the show together, was the promo on Raw between Punk and Roman, because Baron really wants to talk about that. And while I agree with that, I want to talk about something else before we get into that, because there was another promo on Raw concerning the Royal Rumble victories that I think we should talk about real quick. Dirty Dom made his return on Monday Night Raw. We haven't seen him since he got injured at AAA. He came out and he introduced Liv, the winner of the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble, congratulated her. Raquel came out and wanted to know why Liv eliminated her. She's like, we talked about celebrating all weekend, but we never talked about the other thing. The why did you eliminate me? And Liv said, because we this way we have more chances for titles. You have your title match. Now I have a guaranteed title match. And so fast forward to later in the show before the Punk Roman promo, because they took up the main event segment while technically the main event match was Raquel versus Stephanie McCare. And late in the match, Liv came out, even though Raquel told her not to get involved in the match. Liv got up on the apron, held Vaquera's title out to Raquel. In the time that Raquel was taking the title from Liv, Stephanie Vaquera came up, hit her from behind. Raquel had put a bunch of chairs in the ring. Vaquera hit the devil's kiss on a chair, got the pin, and retained her title, after which Liv and Roxanne came in and beat her down. And the reason I thought we needed to discuss this real quick is because of what happened after the beatdown. After the beatdown, Liv Morgan grabbed Stephanie Vaquera's title and held it up, which to me, and I could be wrong, is a very clear message that her plan is to go to WrestleMania to face Stephanie Vaquera. Baron?
I think that's a good option. Jade wouldn't make any sense, right?
No, I think
we're seeing Jade versus Bianca.
Maybe because Bianca hasn't made her return yet, and the speculation right now is that Tiffany's going to go after Jade.
I mean, I can see that, right? I think that could happen. I think Chamber's coming up. I think we might see a return for that. I just Bianca and Jade have to face off again.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It has to. So I think Liv and Zakir would be a match. I just don't think Liv is whoever she's facing is going to win.
Right. I mean, it's either way, it's going to be a fun match, and it does look like she for sure made it clear that she's going after Stephanie Vaquera. Now, here's the real question. Do you think she intentionally distracted Raquel so that Raquel would lose so that she could challenge Stephanie Vaquera?
Some mind game tricks with Liv? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what if there's a chance that Raquel has another match with Stephanie and wins and faces off against Liv for the title?
I mean, we'd finally see at least part of the story I predicted while Liv was out, right? I mean,
it has to fucking happen.
To me, it doesn't make any sense to drag this out for much longer. I really think we have to see Liv turn on Raquel, Roxanne, both. I mean, the whole thing they set up with her injury is leading to her turning on them. I'm sorry, but the path is clear. Nothing else makes sense. We need to see it happen. May as well have Raquel go to Elimination Chamber, win the title, and then take on Liv in the main event of Mania.
Yeah.
To me, that would make a lot of sense, but I'm not a booker for WWE. And actually, I really want to get hired by AEW so I can fix their shit. So, all right. So let's talk about what Baron actually wanted to talk about tonight. I could not find the transcript of the promo, but if you missed Raw this week, okay.
What is our overall winnings of Rumble?
Oh, I was going to do that later in the show, but all right.
Okay, no. Let's move on. You do it later in the show.
Yeah, I figured we talk all the news and then we go, all right, so here's how the boys lined up on the Rumble. So let's talk about Raw this week. If you missed Raw, you missed a hell of a promo between Punk and Roman Reigns. Reigns actually came out, asked the crowd, who do you think I should face? And I mean, the crowd was kind of leaning one way, very obviously. And then Punk came out. Punk grabbed a microphone and basically looked at Roman like, I'll be with you in a minute, went to the camera and addressed Finn Balor, said that he's not done with Finn. He will find him and he will deal with him. And Roman was like, you came out and interrupted my segment to do that? And Punk was like, let me remind you, you're a guest on my show. So no, I didn't interrupt your segment. It's my segment to do with as I wish. And then he basically got the crowd to play. He's like, you had to ask the crowd who you want to face. we all know you're going to take the easy choice, Drew McIntyre. And then he went to the crowd and said, should he pick Drew? Boo. Yeah, they clearly don't like Drew. Should he pick me? Yay. Drew, boo. Me, yay. Drew, boo. Me, yay. And it just went back and forth for a few minutes. And he kept needling Roman, saying, you're going to take the easy way out. We both know you're going to take the easy way out. And Roman spoke up and said, you think Drew's the easy way out? You think he's an easy opponent? And he went on a rant that I don't like the guy, but let me tell you, defending Drew. And then he started talking to Punk, and this went back and forth. There's actually a line that got cut by Netflix on the replay, and it was where he was talking about how after War Games they shook hands and called each other Zebros. Now, this was a reference to Zootopia, where they both voiced zebras in Zootopia 2. Apparently, since it's not out, that's the speculation as to why that line got cut. But at the end of it, as you're going to hear in a minute when I read this article, Punk basically got under Roman Reigns' skin, and that's how we set up our first main event for WrestleMania. CM Punk on this story comes from 411 Mania, by the way. CM Punk bringing the best out of Roman Reigns in WWE Raw promo talks AJ Styles retirement. So that's a good segue for what we're doing after this. Just keep that in mind. CM Punk says that Roman Reigns had a great promo on Raw and points out that it's just another example of him bringing the best out of someone. Punk and Reigns shared the ring on Monday's Raw as Reigns announced he would be facing Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 42. In the segment, Reigns delivered a passionate promo about how much he hates Punk for trying to tear down WWE after he left, and then how he tried to take everything from Reigns when he returned years later. Before I go on, let's talk about that for a second. He is referring to what Punk did on the Colt Cabana show, the things he said about the WWE. And according to Roman Reigns, he had to work that much harder after that.
Yeah, I mean, we can all agree that's a true statement, right?
Yeah, that and he also mentioned you stole my wise man. So, but yeah, it's a true statement. Those comments made it hard on a lot of people, actually. He said that he hated Punk, which was why he wanted to take Punk's title. The world champion weighed in on the promo, his match with Reigns, and more in a quick appearance on the Pat McAfee show. He did say, in response to people calling Reigns' promo one of his best, Punk said, "Oh, imagine that in the ring with CM Punk, bringing the best out of guys." Yeah, I've heard that before. On his match with Reigns, I think in this business, when you take wrestling and you look at who is the biggest names in the industry, the top two are CM Punk and Roman Reigns, right? So you want to see them in the biggest event, in the main event at WrestleMania. So we're here now. I wasn't sure he was going to pick me. I thought he might pick Drew, but because I do legitimately believe Drew is the easier choice. But where I'm at right now, I got him exactly where I want him. He picked me. I got under his skin. He's emotional. And we all know those emotional Samoans, they can't control themselves. Thought if AJ Styles is truly retired, who knows? I don't know. I know what he told me behind the scenes, which is nobody else's business. I just love and respect for I just love and respect for the phenomenal one. Love and respect. So we'll get more into AJ Styles here in a minute. I think it was a good promo. I might be one of the best promos they've had for a while. The low blows in the promos have gotten more creative, and I think these two actually did a pretty good job of hitting below the belt without really hitting below the belt, Darren.
Yeah, I think for sure this is one of the better promos we've seen in WWE for some time, right? CM Punk, and it felt kind of good that Roman Reigns was left off his leash and didn't need Heyman to speak for him, right?
Yeah,
and he sounded good. I mean, like I believed it. I was like, I thought it was phenomenal. One of the better promos I've seen in WWE in a long time. So this is going to be a pissing match between these two.
Right? I mean, that's close to what CM Punk used to describe it. He said that this is going to be a dick measuring contest.
Yeah, exactly. Close enough, right? And it's going to be because CM Punk's got an ego. And I mean, Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns, right? Like, this is going to be great. This is definitely going to headline night 2. And they had to. CM Punk had to headline the final night, right? He did night 1. He's gonna have to headline night 2. So I'm actually looking forward to this match a lot. This is going to be a big Mania match, one of the bigger ones we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and the outcome doesn't really matter. The match itself, that's what's going to be the journey and what's going to make it worth it, no matter who wins this match.
Yeah, it's going to be some great fucking promo work.
Yeah, definitely. Two of the best on the mic are coming together for this, and
Roman said, "I hate you." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay." He made me believe, like, for real, like he legitimately could fucking hate him.
Yeah, exactly. All right, real quick before we go into the Desk of Max Magus, I'm going to read a couple stories about AJ Styles. One of them I know Baron's not going to like because he's already said so. And then the other one is about the gloves. First story, though, both these stories come from Ringside News. AJ Styles may not be fully retired from pro wrestling after his WWE exit. AJ Styles may be done as a full-time in-ring performer, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's finished with wrestling altogether. While Fightful Select previously reported that Styles' WWE in-ring career had officially wrapped after the Royal Rumble, a new update via WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select now suggests Styles could have something left in the tank. AJ Styles is done as an active wrestler, but might not be done completely, the update stated. According to the report, neither WWE nor AEW sources appear to know what Styles' next move will be. There's been increased speculation behind the scenes, but no concrete direction has emerged. Despite Styles' quiet exit from the ring, internal sources in WWE reportedly believe he's not finished competing in some capacity. Sources that they spoke to within WWE believe that AJ Styles is not done wrestling in some capacity, per WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful Select. Adding more intrigue in a comment Styles made on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, where he kept the door open with a carefully worded answer. Never say never. This only fuels existing rumors that have circulated since before his retirement was even official. It was noted that Styles was a hot topic backstage at AEW Dynamite on January 28th, and while no offer had been made as of February 3rd, sources within AEW expect the company to pursue him if given the chance. Meanwhile, New Japan Pro Wrestling is reportedly eyeing Styles as well, especially in light of recent talent departures. With close ties across AEW and NJPW and the respect of WWE's top brass, Styles is in the rare position of holding all the cards. He's financially secure, creatively fulfilled, and according to those closest to him, will do what he wants to do regardless of money. Now, I want to read this other story real quick before I go into from the Desk of Max Magus. This story is AJ Styles explains why he didn't remove his gloves after career-threatening loss to Gunther. And honestly, he actually did remove the gloves, started to place them, then put them back on, just so we're clear. AJ Styles may have lost a career-threatening match at the 2026 WWE Royal Rumble, but there was one move he didn't make, and it has fans talking. Following his defeat to Gunther, many expected Styles to leave his gloves in the ring, the classic symbol of retirement in pro wrestling. But when he didn't, speculation ran wild. Now Styles himself is explaining why. In a conversation on Stephanie McMahon's podcast, Styles addressed the decision. I don't know. Never say never, right? That's the saying. I think everyone's allowed at least once to come out of retirement. I'm not saying I'll do it anytime soon. And while he didn't commit to a comeback, he left the door cracked just wide enough for a future moment fans would never forget. What if my son wrestles? The opportunity to tag with him once? You never know. So there'll be a time when the gloves never go back on. It may be now, but we'll see. The gloves stayed on, and maybe that's because AJ Styles isn't ready to say goodbye forever, at least not yet. All right, let's get into this real quick. AJ Styles, the champ that runs the camp, the phenomenal one, a man who gave 10 great years to WWE, debuting in the 2016 Royal Rumble at number 3, making his first official appearance with the WWE, but not his first appearance. He first appeared in 2002, but declined a developmental deal. When he did join WWE, he won the WWE Championship twice. The second victory was in Manchester, England, and WWE recognizes him as the first wrestler to win the title outside of North America. He's tied for 8th with Savage and on the longest title reign list for 371 days, a man who spent time in Japan making the Bullet Club a household name. He has worked in WCW and Ring of Honor. He has held the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, the X Division Championship, the NWA Tag Team Championships, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. He was part of Future. And along with his WWE titles, he is the first wrestler to be a Grand Slam champion in both WWE and TNA. And now this man is retired from WWE. We figured that was going to happen when he agreed to face Gunther with his WWE career on the line. But I won't lie, we were hoping it wouldn't happen. AJ Styles is a legacy across multiple companies. And it's possible he's going to cement that legacy now that his time is in WWE is done. There are rumors that he might spend some time in Japan and then in TNA now that he's no longer with WWE. So from all of us here at Ramblers Unleashed, thank you, AJ. We can't wait to see what you have planned next. And I know what you're thinking. How can I possibly follow up a story about AJ Styles and whether he retires or not and stating my opinion on his legendary career? And I'll tell you exactly how I'm going to follow that up. I'm going to follow that up with Baron's Buzzkill. And this story comes to us from Fightful. Big E, I have peed in many pools. Big breaking news from Big E. He pees in the pool. Appearing on Stugatz, Big E played New Day or No Way as he was thrown in a couple of topics and had to choose if it was something he would do or not do. Peeing in the pool was the topic. Big E replied, New Day. Who is without sin? He who is without sin cast the first stone. I have peed in many of pools. It's right there. What am I going to do? Go find a bathroom? He did confirm that if he was presented with the choice of the pool or the bathroom, he would choose the bathroom, as he is not a barbarian. He is at Super Bowl week and making appearances to promote his new series, The Evaluation. Baron, take it away.
Yes. That's a wild segue. And who hasn't peed in the pool or anywhere else, right? Who hasn't, right? I need to go and get the clip of this because I have a feeling it's very fucking entertaining.
Right? It sounds like it. It sounds like it was a lot of fun. Especially since apparently that wasn't the only question because they were actually playing a full-on game of New Day or No Way. So, but if you thought that segue was great, Baron, wait till you hear where we're going next.
Oh, boy. Does it
All
start
right.
with the A and end with the W?
In AEW news, okay.
Oh, shit.
In WWE and AEW news, Seth Rollins and MJF meet at the NFL Super Bowl Radio Row. While at Radio Row, MJF and Seth Rollins crossed paths ahead of NFL Super Bowl 2026 weekend. The Radio Row media festivities began, and among those present to make the media rounds were WWE Seth Rollins and AEW World Champion MJF. The two crossed paths, and it was captured on video. Rollins is recovering from shoulder surgery. MJF was in action on February 4th Dynamite and quickly lost an eliminator match to Brody King. If you want to watch the video of Seth Rollins and MJF running into each other at Radio Row, I will drop it in the Discord. But we're not gonna play it on the show. We're not gonna do that. But check it out. It's funny. It's interesting to see two of the top heels from two of the major companies come across each other and have a moment. So And
Yeah, that's gonna be an interesting dynamic, right? Two different company, big guys coming together. Like, what do they say? What do they talk about in that moment?
I mean, whatever suits you, I guess, right?
I know, but it's just I would love to be a fly on the wall at that point in time. Are they friends? Do they, like that's a fucking weird dynamic. Because
Well,
I imagine these two don't have constant communication between each other, right?
no. And I was going to say, if it was anybody other than MJF, I would say they probably have mutual respect when they start up the conversation. But it's MJF. And MJF does not break kayfabe, does not break character.
Mhm.
So I got to say that there is a very good possibility that this was legitimately two heels coming face to face.
Yeah.
So it is in the Discord if you want to check the video out. I wish I could have been there. That would have been
Fly on the wall would have been very fucking entertaining.
Yeah.
To see what those two were saying with each other, but it looked like they were laughing, so it couldn't have been too bad, right?
Yeah, it couldn't have been too bad. Before we move on, I got to know, what the hell are you talking about, Styles? I mean,
I highlighted that earlier.
well, I was tabbed out, and when I came back, it was going away. So what are you talking about? That AJ isn't the only Styles that's retiring? You know what? After the show, we're going to have a serious conversation. You don't come into our YouTube chat and break this news like that. All right? That's just rude. Rude. All right.
Yeah, especially without a follow-up.
Exactly. You can't just throw that out there and then just get quiet. Come on. That's just not right.
Unacceptable.
Exactly. See, we're on the same page on this right now, and that's where we stand. All right, guys. Our last story of the night comes from Fightful, and it is TNA news. TNA has filed a lawsuit against Gail Kim. TNA parent company Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions LLC filed a lawsuit against TNA Hall of Famer Gail Kim before the Nashville Chancery Court in Tennessee on January 10th. According to PW Insider, the lawsuit stems from Kim informing the company that after she was let go in March 2025, she believes she holds legal claims against Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions for violations of the Florida Private Whistleblower Act. The alleged violations are not listed in the lawsuit. Anthem is bringing the lawsuit forward as they are alleging that based on the nature of Kim's contract with the company, that all issues between the two would be governed by Tennessee law. The lawsuit states the following things. Kim entered into a services agreement contract in September 2022 that included talent relations, match production, and performer services. Kim also agreed to identify and support new revenue, business, and growth opportunities for Anthem. I'm reading this out every time just for the record, because if I say AWE, I'm either going to accidentally say AEW, or you guys may mishear me and think I'm saying AEW, even though I'm not talking about that. So that's why I'm reading it out as Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions every time. The agreement expired at the end of 2024, at which point the two sides agreed to continue on a month-to-month basis. The booking agreement for Kim was non-exclusive, and that she had the right to provide wrestling and other entertainment services to other customers based on certain limitations, including an agreement not to provide wrestling services to any competitors. The booking agreement stated that Kim will at all times be an independent contractor and not an employee or agent of Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions. Therefore, Kim will not participate in any benefit plans or programs that Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions provides or may provide to its employees, including but not limited to pension, profit sharing, medical, dental, workers' comp, occupational injury, life insurance, and vacation or sick benefits. Kim worked primarily in talent relations and production, but did wrestle on one occasion, worked from her home, was not provided an office space, and did not work for the company full-time, as she continued to engage in other independent projects, including the Amazing Race Canada and the Traders Canada reality series. They also stated she received a 1099 for all payments and will receive another for her work that ended in 2025. Kim's working relationship with the company ended after a strategic decision to restructure, which led to Kim and 2 other independent contractors not having their contracts renewed, as well as the termination of 5 employees. It's also noted in connection with Anthem Wrestling Exhibition's restructuring, the former president of the sports group for Anthem Wrestling Exhibition Sports Entertainment, Anthony Choney, stepped down from his role in May 2025. They are also stating that since Kim was an independent contractor, she does not have any legally cognizable claims against them based on Florida law. Anthem is asking the court to declare that Kim was indeed an independent contractor, which would negate any of her claims that she has threatened to bring under the Florida Private Whistleblower Act, the Florida Civil Rights Act, and Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and that their company has a real legally protectable interest at stake, namely its rights under the services agreement and booking agreement which it negotiated and for which it paid Kim. TNA is seeking an award of reasonable attorney's fees and court costs. Court records do not yet indicate whether Kim has been served with the lawsuit, nor are their court dates listed. And I know there was a little bit of legal mumbo jumbo in there, and I don't really understand exactly how all this works. But if they can prove that she's trying to make it out that because they did work in Florida, the Florida aspect counts. And Anthem is trying to say that if she's a 1099 out of their business office in Tennessee, then the Florida stuff has to be dropped because Florida has no jurisdiction.
Sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. That's a sticky fucking situation. I don't know how the fuck you get in that predicament in life, but fucking Christ, dude.
And
what is going on with this group?
TNA is just starting to make a resurgence. This is not the time to be getting involved in a lawsuit with a former employee. Once you get yourselves a little more cemented, then dabble in all the lawsuits with former employees you want.
Sounds like TKO just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of what it sounds like to me too.
Yep, it sure do. And that's not good.
Yeah. Either way, I don't fully understand all the legal mumbo jumbo that was going on in there. And I don't think this is the right time for this, but good luck, both sides. I hope this turns out whatever is most beneficial for both sides, honestly. All right, let's talk about Royal Rumble numbers. I'm going to start with the worst picks of the night because it's rare that this happens this way, and this person is the worst picks of the night. I couldn't get a read on this Rumble this year. I just couldn't. And so the only match I got right was picking Gunther to retire AJ. I got 1 point, and that was it. Styles.
What?
Yeah, I only got 1 point this year. Styles, who has conveniently hit and run, and may or may not still be listening, you bastard. He got the Gunther pick and the Drew McIntyre right and got 2 points. And finally, the person that got the most points in this year's Royal Rumble was the Baron with 3 points. Gunther, Drew, and Liv Morgan were your points. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So nobody got any of the extra points.
Nope. Let's see. Styles picked as his surprise entrant Max Magus, and unfortunately, I was unable to make the flight to Saudi Arabia.
Couldn't make the flight. Yeah, absolutely.
Dirty Dom was not. Hey, You bastard. We were talking to you.
Where is that at? Let's highlight this. What's going on here, Styles?
Yeah. Dirty Dom did not appear, and neither did Joe Hendry, Trish Stratus, Bianca Belair, Paige, AJ Lee. None of them showed up either.
Yeah, and I think we knew going into this show would have been a little bit different, right? When it comes to returns and debuts and things along those lines. So not surprised at all about that, but I really wish something would have happened.
I mean, Triple H promised it was going to be packed full of surprises, and
this motherfucker, he just says this shit anymore just to say it. Like, you bastard. Stop
I'm going to hold you to that. You some bitch. All right. Now, let's put this whole thing together. What does all this mean? And I've had multiple people that don't typically come in and watch the show asking me what I think the road to WrestleMania is going to bring to us this year and what WrestleMania is going to hold. So let's start with the obvious. CM Punk, Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Guaranteed, that's already set in stone. We know that's happening. We are currently about 98% sure that Liv will be challenging Stephanie McCare at WrestleMania. So that leaves our SmackDown side of titles a little bit open. Right now, I'm thinking that it's probably, yes, I do mean Ramblemania. Thank you, Sean. Right now, I'm thinking that the men's main event from SmackDown will probably be a triple threat match. I think it's going to be Cody versus Fatu versus Drew for the title. Now, as far as the women's main event for SmackDown, we've talked about the possibilities here tonight on the show. I personally think that Tiffany Stratton is likely to be Jade Cargill's opponent at WrestleMania for the title. But if Bianca Belair returns between now and then, we could feasibly see Bianca Belair insert herself into the title match. But I do not think we're going to see two triple threats at WrestleMania. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Cody, Drew, and Fatu. So you're either going to see Bianca and Jade or you're going to see Tiffany and Jade. We're not going to see all three of them in the ring together. And that's where I stand on the world title situation. And before I talk about anything else in my thoughts for Chamber and Mania, Baron, what do you think of those options I just laid out?
Not bad options. I like I said, I think Bianca has got a good chance, right, with Jade. I think that's a Mania match. That's got to kind of happen. Tiffy's time may not be here. So I love Tiff, but like I just feel like there's something missing. I don't see Drew headlining or being a headline on Mania.
Really?
Yeah, I don't. And I'm not sure exactly like what that direction goes and how he loses that title. I just don't think they put enough stock into him over the last year and a half to make me believe that he's a champion now.
Okay.
And that's from terrible, weird booking that Drew is on this journey to become a champion. He did become a champion. Normally we would be like, okay, he overcame everything. He apparently got screwed out of this, got screwed out of that. So to me, him as a champion, just I don't care, and it doesn't make sense anymore. So how he loses that, I'm not sure. I really think there's going to be a big name facing off against Cody. I don't want to say the name because it could be totally just fucking doesn't make any sense, but somewhere The Rock's coming in. Throwing it out there. It's gone way too long to have that much investment into WWE, and there's a lot of weird shit that just got left out of nowhere. And I think somehow he finesses his way into Mania.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. We do deserve closure on that, but the fact that he vanished and we didn't get the closure on the John Cena story involving him leads me to believe that we're never going to get the closure on Cody Rhodes either.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance of that, right? I just wishful thinking something like that happens. I don't think Cody needs to be in the main event at Mania. I don't think he needs to hold the title. I don't think he needs to even have a match for a title. I think there's got to be something more brewing, whether a return or something along those lines. Cody is not in that position that he needs the title anymore. I thought his run was what it was. He was a beautiful baby face. Maybe time to turn him heel. I'm just not interested in him anymore at all. So that title really, I really don't fucking know. I don't think Drew's gonna hold it. But I could be wrong.
And feasibly, they could have Drew. I mean, typically, since the Royal Rumble winner picked Monday Night Raw as his opponent, that means that usually you get a number one contenders match at Elimination Chamber, and usually it's in the chamber. But it's possible that we don't go that route this year. It's possible we just put the title on the line in Elimination Chamber and then build an opponent from there. That's happened before, too.
Yeah, I was going to say it's happened before, right? So
yeah,
that is a good chance that could happen. Cody could become a champion that night, and we get something else happening. I just do not see, as much as I really, truly do like Drew McIntyre, see him headlining either night, sadly.
Gotcha.
He doesn't have that star power.
Yeah. And I do agree with what Sean said. I think we probably will see Brock versus Oba at WrestleMania.
Get out of here with the Brock shit. Oba would beat the living piss out of that man.
And I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
But I think that after the elimination at Rumble, you have to have Brock versus Oba at some point.
Yeah.
It has to happen.
That would be a great Mania match, and I would be very invested. And I'm not invested in anything Lesnar. So,
right, exactly. I'm thinking that we'll probably only see the one men's chamber match. I'm thinking that we will get a women's match, and it'll probably be a number one contendership for the SmackDown title. And I think there's a very good chance that either Tiffany wins that, or we see Bianca return, get herself into the chamber, and win that. So that's kind of where I'm standing on this. I'm not sold on who it's going to be yet, but I'm thinking it's going to be Bianca or Tiffy facing off with Jade at Mania.
That women's roster is stacked right now.
I could see Sol Ruka be part of that chamber.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we could go down the list of, I'm gonna fuck up the shows, but like, you got Bliss, you got Flair, you got so many names out there that could be potential of that match, and I think anybody's going to carry that title better than Jade. But I think Bianca would be a great closure to that, because I don't think we ever got that ever.
Well, and there's one more thing I want to drop on you that could change everything on the road to WrestleMania. I am seeing reports that on Monday on Raw, we will finally see the return again of AJ Lee.
In what capacity?
I have no idea. But allegedly she is going to be on Raw. And you never know. Maybe she's going to be involved in the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah. I feel like AJ is very smart. I think she is someone that is there to put somebody over. I think she has a very good connection with Roxanne. I think there could be a possibly match there or something along those lines. I don't think she's going to be in any title picture whatsoever, and I don't want her to be. I think she's in, like I said, she's very smart, and I think she would put somebody over. But I'm always down with AJ Lee return at all times.
There's one title picture. It doesn't need the title, but the title's there, and that's it right there. There is a possibility that because we have unfinished business with her and Becky. And now that Maxine's attention has been pulled to Natty, feasibly, I mean, who do you pair up in this? Becky Lynch has beef with Jessica Carr, who's been working hard to get to wrestler level status. And then you have AJ Lee, who she has beef with. It feasibly could go either way. You don't really need the title for either one of those matches.
Yeah.
But the title is involved if you're going after Becky.
Yeah. And that's a good chance.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about Becky and that. So that could be definitely what happens. I'd rather see AJ putting someone over, like a Roxanne or something. I think Roxanne needs an extra push. I think she's great. She needs a little extra push away from Judgment Day. So that's kind of the direction I was going with that. But her and Becky would be smart.
I think we're gonna see that boost for Roxanne as far as the distancing from Judgment Day. If we end up seeing, I think we're gonna start seeing the splinters forming now that it looks like Alexa has declared she's going after Vicaire, because that was Raquel's title. Raquel should have won that title, and you came out after I told you not to, and you got involved in my match. So I think we're going to see the splinters forming, and I think and I'll be honest with you, I didn't have faith in the system, and I should have, but I think the way Liv has been acting lately, like she's really good friends with Roxanne since she returned, and even though she shouldn't be doing that, I think this is all part of driving a wedge, because she's going to either Roxanne's going to go her own direction or she's going to go with Liv when Liv breaks away from Raquel.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is almost like a Big Daddy Cool Shawn Michaels storyline, right?
Exactly. I think that's why they've been calling her Big Sexy.
Yeah, I think you're totally right on that. And then Roxanne, I think, sides with I think she sides with Liv on this, and I think that's a good story. I'm here for that.
Unfortunately, in this story, Roxanne has no choice but to be the Marty Jannetty.
Yeah. Oh no, Roxanne. Oh, poor girl.
The difference is she's more talented.
100%. Yeah, no, that's great. That's a great point. I totally kind of forgot it, and it popped in my head. That's the Diesel Shawn Michaels storyline, how it all kind of began, right? So, like, that's good booking and smart. Shawn Michaels must have some say in that.
Yeah.
I do need to point out something, though, for the end of the show, because we haven't talked about it. Who was the masked man?
I'm glad you brought that up. So, there's a lot of speculation as to who that was. First off, he did the what did I say he did? I know he did the stomp. What was the other thing I said? Basically, he did a Seth Rollins-esque attack, which means that could it be Seth? As Adam Pearce said on Raw, the last time we saw a masked man come out and use these attacks, it was Austin Theory. So Austin Theory is a suspect. There's also the possibility that it was Finn Balor, kind of his way of ruining someone's night since he couldn't be in the Rumble. The other possibility is there is somebody on Facebook that posted an image where they said this is Logan Paul. Based on zooming in, it looked like a blonde facial hair instead of dark. So we know it wasn't Bronson
I've seen
Reed.
that too. I've seen that too. None of those make sense or would be interesting to attack what could be your biggest star in the next 5 years, right? Austin Theory doesn't make any sense for another attack to me. Why would he come out as a masked assailant? It doesn't make any sense. Seth Rollins, why the fuck would he need attack Braun Breaker?
Why do it under a mask if it's Seth?
Exactly, right?
Everybody knows he wants to get his hands on Braun Breaker. there's really no reason to be under a mask.
Yeah, and the person that attacked him was just a little bit too thick to be Seth Rollins. Hate to say it. So you know, and that could change, right? We all know that they pull people in to do those things on air when they're not there, type situation. I really don't know at all. I don't even have the slightest clue, and that's what has me intrigued. Who benefits from attacking Braun Breaker to get into Rumble? Who? I have no idea.
Look, the reason I mentioned that, and not just because Pierce did, but part of the reason I mentioned Theory is because what if the decision was made, hey, we're all going to make sure that Braun wins, right? What if Theory didn't want Braun to win? What if he was only agreed to go along with it because that's what he was told to do? But then again, he also made it clear in one of those conversations backstage that he's got Braun's back. Logan, on the other hand, has always been the Maverick. You know, feasibly, it could be Logan, and Sean's right. He did give Braun a weird look behind his back. So I'm honestly think that the Maverick is trying to stand out on his own and take out his biggest competition without anybody knowing that's what he's doing. That would be motive for Logan to do it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm going with Finn Balor. And the reason for this is Finn didn't have a spot in the Rumble. Finn didn't have anything on the card. Finn's upset, and he said everyone's going to see, although he did see everyone's going to see, so I don't know why he would wear a mask. But then again, if creative tells you put the mask on, you put the mask on, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I think Finn would be a good choice. And he already does a curb stomp of a sense, right?
Yeah.
So like, and it looked good, it looked clean, so it's a good chance it could be. I just don't know how he finesses his way out of Judgment Day to Division. That part doesn't make any sense to me. He's got to have closure on Judgment Day.
Nah, I think we're about to see Finn and Judgment Day. I think we're about to see the total end of Judgment Day. Yeah. I think once we see the splinters form between the girls, that just leaves JD McDonough's out, so that just leaves Finn and Dom to go their separate ways from each other. I don't think we see Judgment Day around for much longer at all. I think we're seeing the end of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I don't know. The masked person really has me confused because I really don't know. I don't want it to be. I think it's more of I don't know, and it's more of like I don't want it to be these certain individuals, right?
I know exactly who it was.
John Cena.
It was not John Cena because we could see him clearly. Listen, this guy was clearly in Saudi Arabia. We thought this guy might make an appearance in the Rumble. Clearly, he didn't. This guy has been very jealous of his former friend. His former friend is now part of the Vision. This guy is now working with one of the top tag teams, and they clearly don't care for him. They're just tolerating him, for whatever reason. This guy could feasibly have done a curb stomp. This guy feasibly could have done all that. He's about the right build, and he's from down under. I think the masked man might have been Grayson Waller.
Okay. So what you did, you somehow snuck in, grabbed my stash, smoked it in the last 5 minutes that came up with that, Max. Okay.
No, actually, think about this, okay? This guy has been lost since Theory went out with his injury, and that's why he's been hanging around with the New Day. They have unfinished business between the two of them anyway that so far we haven't even acknowledged since Theory came back. Perhaps he is, and this is just a possibility, perhaps he is going after Vision members. We'll see what happens as we progress. that perhaps he's going after Vision members to get to Austin Theory, and Braun just happened to be the first one in his path. The other possibility is LA Knight, who did get his hands on members of the Vision, but this doesn't seem like LA Knight's style. But he has beef with the Vision.
Yeah, that's another good point there about LA Knight. Yeah, man, we'll have to see because it has to be released very soon, I would think.
And listen, let's just be clear about one thing. You sat here and you bashed my theory of Grayson Waller, said I must have snuck in and got into your stash. But let's think back over the years as to what WWE has done to us 9 times out of 10 when they have something like this happen. It's been a major letdown when they reveal it. Why should this be any different?
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. I think
but I do want to know who Sean thinks it is.
Yes, Sean, who is it? It's a Max. It can't be Max.
Adam Pearce.
Yeah, and I've seen some rumbles about that too, but why? Why would they do that?
And that's what Heyman thinks. Heyman thinks it was Adam Pearce that did that.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, though. I think the Masked Attacker was slightly thinner. Is that the word I'm going for here? Than Adam Pearce. I don't think that they were as thick as Adam Pearce.
I don't know. I thought this person was rather thick. So it's a good possibility, but why would we pull Adam Pearce other than obviously the disgruntledness with the Vision to attack Braun? Would you put him in the match with Braun Breaker? Like that part doesn't matter. Make sense.
There's a theory that I actually am feeling might be true that Paul Heyman has something on Adam Pearce, and that's how Braun got reinstated. That's how Braun and the Vision got spots in the Rumble. Yeah. And maybe Pearce did this because, I had to give in and put Braun into the Rumble, but there's no reason Braun, that means that should translate to Braun has to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a good point. I mean, whoever is behind the mask has to be a big star. You don't attack what could be the face of your company.
Or it could be gobbledygooker.
Or let's hope it's not. To me, it has to be somebody big to attack Braun Breaker. Like he's going to be your face of the company.
Yeah, it's got to be a big deal, and that's part of the reason I thought maybe Seth at first, because it's got to be somebody big. And if we do the feud with Seth that we were foreshadowed when Seth got injured and went out at the hands of Braun Breaker, that could be big to put him over and build Braun's. Seth's a big name. That could be a big deal.
It definitely could. It definitely could be. The person behind the mask was not Seth Rollins.
Well, the person behind the mask also wasn't Gunther, so.
Well, it also wasn't Max Mages.
Well, yeah, because I had trouble flying into Saudi Arabia. I ended up having to stay home.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting how that plays out.
Yes, it is, and I look forward to it. I do too. I don't think we're going to get the reveal as quickly as we did with Austin Theory. I think this is going to be something that's going to be dragged out a little bit now that we're on the road to WrestleMania, because you don't want to show your whole hand just yet.
Yes, John. I saw the neck roll as well too, and I think that was a way of
throwing people off.
I seen that too. I'm like, what the fuck? No way.
Mox is definitely still under contract.
He's definitely under contract for sure. But the stomp, the neck roll, in the body type, in theory, would be Mox. Right? It was all there to throw him off. There's just no way.
If you'd gotten somebody bigger and they did the stomp and they did the head roll, there could be an argument made that it was the Shield instigating something new.
I'm all for it. I think that'd be cool, right?
Yeah, that might be fun. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for Ramblers tonight. I don't know what we're going to do about next week yet. My overnight schedule is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So both the normal nights that we do the show, I'm at work. So I'm not going to discuss it tonight due to the fact that it's late and I got some stuff to do before I can go to bed. But I'll talk to Baron. We'll see what we can figure out. Maybe we can find some point to do a show next week. But I don't make any promises. There is a chance we take next week off. But I will do my best to make it happen because clearly Sean wants to come see the show. And I don't want to.
Or how about we just pull Sean into the mix? He hosts a show, guest host. There you go.
Yeah. So Baron and I will discuss it. We'll get back to you and we will let you know what the plan is. And for the record, I did warn you guys of this 2 weeks ago. But as much as you guys seem to enjoy listening to me talk, I feel like you don't really listen to what I say. I blame that on the previous people from the show.
Who?
So
where are they at?
I don't know where they're at. One of them was in the chat. He vanished though, but
vanished with no explanation. The other one is on the sunset of wherever he wants to be.
Right.
They
left us
guys.
to do this.
These fucking ramblers.
Unprofessional, I tell you.
Yes.
All right, Baron. How can they find you?
Find me on the Twitter, Xbox. I almost said Xbox. On the X, at Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's.
All right, and you can find this show at the Ramblers Pod. You can find us on Facebook. Just look for Ramblers Unleashed. If you enjoyed tonight's show, hit the like button. If you aren't already subscribed, consider subscribing. Hit the bell to be notified when we go live. You can find me at Max Mages. You can find you can find Styles somewhere out there in the East. If you do, kick him in the ass. Tell him to get back on the show. You can find my other show at Our Shots Podcast. You can listen to that pretty much anywhere you listen to podcasts, or go to random-shots.net. And on that note, we're going to head out for the night. So go watch some wrestling, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.